and reconnect on the west coast of Africa. And I say reconnect because oftentimes in the diaspora we have been cut off from our roots, our language, and our history stolen. My mother is adopted. I did not know her lineage. My father, as I had mentioned before, the son of emancipated slaves. So when I found myself on the shores of Liberia, there's actually a region there called Greensville. And I didn't know this, but before I even arrived, when I talked to my brother Francis, he said, "No, my brother, you are Liberian. I'm looking at you. We already have a whole county named after you. You're welcome to come home anytime." So when I had the opportunity to meet Minister Sulunteh as the Postmaster General, and he shared with me his ideas of innovation and communications and banking, I thought, this is a man who sees the big picture. But it wasn't until I actually had a chance to travel to Liberia, when at that time he was the Minister of Labor, that I realized his connection to the youth of the country. And that regardless of the years that pass on, this is a man who remains in his youth. He never forgets the children of Liberia. And in the children of Liberia, you see a resilience. They have dealers in Liberia. These dealers were dealing in the black market of textbooks, sold at a price that would equal our own here today. And the demand for these books is so fierce that they had stalls of books all across this black market of textbooks. And in Leo's inspired story here in Canada, let it be known that there is inspiration in all Liberians across the diaspora who have found their way here today. And although it's a small community, its impact in this city has been huge. And so to all Liberians that are here today, if I could please take a moment, volunteers and such, and just ask you to rise. Ladies and gentlemen, if we could just please give them a round of applause. Sisters, thank you. And so in my time in the return to Liberia, recognizing the need for a greater investment in education, we had long talks with our brother. We call him Big Brother. Just like David Christopherson is my big brother here, Sister Andrea Horvath is my big sister here in Liberia. I have Big Brother. And I'll tell you, when you have two young folks who come over with big, bright plans, supported by a community, we had the chance to speak with many NGOs in Monrovia, and we always ask them the same thing, or at least I do. What is your mandate? Why are you here? Lots of philanthropy happening in Liberia, but that's a whole other conversation. Who they're helping, I'm not sure. I have some ideas. We always had Big Brother in our corner, daring us to dream big. And although Brother Christopherson talked about not being partisan but being political, if I could be political for a second, and I apologize in advance if I do offend anybody in this assertion, but there has been a reputation for corruption in Liberia. Yeah. We have a Canadian exceptionalism where we think we don't have that stuff here, but believe me, it's here. But the particular type of brand of corruption, fed mostly, if I should say, by foreign investment and foreign companies, there were multiple opportunities for turnover in the government under Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. For the Liberians who are here, you know what I'm talking about. You read Frontpage Africa. But I can say this emphatically, that at every turn, at every investigation, Jeremiah Sulunteh always came through clean. This is a man of integrity, of resiliency, and of leadership. And why does that matter? How did we come to be here tonight? Because, sir, I can tell you this, that when I met you as a young man at 27, long before I had official aspirations to be political, I was watching you. You see, don't tell me about your character, show me. Don't tell me about your character when times are good, show me when times are bad. And I watched you overcome. And although we had big plans for the Liberian Learning Center, sidetracked temporarily for the tragedy that was Ebola, still you rose to the occasion.